Well.
We're back.
Holy hell.
Oh, man.
We are so deep into the future right now, it is insane.
Yeah. It's fall.
It's fall. Even worse, today, as we are filming this, today is election day. America's gender reveal for
Godspeed,
2024.
America.
Godspeed, America, indeed. Did you go out and vote at all?
Hell yeah, I did this morning.
Hell yeah. I voted early. Thankfully, our state allows early voting because I was not 100% sure if I was going to be off today. Mm-hmm. Weirdly, I ended up actually being off today, so it's like I could have gone, but I'm glad that we at least went and got it.
I'm a weirdo. I like voting on election day. I have the option, I have Monday, Tuesday off, so I could have early voted, but I like doing it on election day. It feels more, I don't know. I think it
feels like legit.
It feels more legitimate when I do it on election day. Also, the Girl Scouts are there with the cookies, and as a former Girl Scout myself,
they know a lot of people are probably showing up to the polls all baked-eed.
Oh yeah, we did it all when I was Girl Scout from 1st grade to 12th grade for 12 years. And every election day we did the cookie booth at Walmart or at an election site.
Oh, Walmart. A polling site, yeah.
You make bank on election day.
There was
people be leaving those polls with they need some emotional support.
Angst. Pure angst.
Dude, I bought 4 boxes, so.
I heard of, I think one of my coworkers was telling me a time about how there's this Girl Scout troop near them that would, post up their stand in front of a dispensary.
That is actually really smart.
And I was like, those guys are probably the most successful out of their whole troop.
Oh, hell yeah. Oh, hell yeah. The price of cookies also has gone up. Insanely. Okay, it was $24 for 4 boxes. Okay, not to sound all boomery, but back in my day, all right, it was not that expensive.
Oh my God. Yeah, we found out actually because, again, work-related story, but we were having a big team meeting one day, swear to God, and we got into the topic of Girl Scouts. And we were like, for the amount that these groups charge for cookies, right? How much money do you think that entire organization makes? And it's in the billions.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
No, they make a lot of money. And not all of the cookie funds go to the troop, if I'm not mistaken. It's been a long time, guys.
Correct.
But it's a lot. It's a lot.
The CEO does collect a hefty check.
Heck yeah.
Because we're in America.
I will say, though, if you find a good troop, you get out of it what you're supposed to. There are a lot of troops that are just in it for the cookie sales, for the fun activities, for the thing. I did it in a way that you're supposed to, where you get your badges and you do the fun things and you sell your cookies, but you're actually helping your very much as a scout, as you're supposed to. My troop did more community service in my 4 years in high school than my entire senior class.
I'm not gonna lie, I lasted all of one day in Girl Scouts.
But it's not for everybody. I enjoyed it. It was the one thing, one activity outside of school that I had kept my entire youth because I enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun, and we helped the community. I learned a lot of things. We went on trips. We did all kinds of stuff. So you find the correct troop, your kid gets out of it what they're supposed to. Yeah. It's the same with the Boy Scouts, right? You find the correct troop, and you're not just doing fun things. They're developing as a well-rounded human as they're supposed to from it, right? So I attribute a lot of who I am now from my experience in Girl Scouts. So
if you feel the same, definitely leave a comment.
Who else is a former scout, guys?
If you were a Girl Scout, Boy Scout, any kind of scout, whatever floated your boat.
My future children will definitely be in scouts. I've always wanted to be a troop mom, not gonna lie.
Yeah. So we're basically, because we've been gone for a very long time, the last video you guys probably saw from us was us finally finishing up Love Island.
Okay,
3 months late.
I cracked up though because I saw the thing on my YouTube yesterday, because I'm subscribed to us, obviously. And I saw the photo, and I'm in shorts and a crop top, and then I was looking at what I was wearing yesterday, which is 7 layers, and I was like, whoa, oh, how times have changed.
Yeah, we filmed, the last time we filmed, right, was for the Love Island finale. That was back in July, August. And then we did a couple of lives in August because we didn't want to go completely off the grid. But we just haven't come back since because
And then we kind of did because everything got crazy.
Life was crazy, you know.
Yeah.
I was busy working a lot. You've been working a lot. We've been just falling off of the radar very quickly. So we wanted to just come back for a bit.
Hi.
You know?
I missed you.
And if you still want to keep up with us, because we still plan on going from here, it just might not be as frequently as we were originally aiming for.
For right now, at least.
Yeah.
Because there's not anything to recap at the moment, so.
Yeah, so now we're basically just going to do a quick catch-up, really, on just the tea that we've missed, what's going on right now, what have we been watching.
Oh, BT dubs, guys. I will be on with the Real Bitch of Bravo tomorrow to discuss the Housewives, so check that out. I know Tay was on it last week for Housewives and Mormon Wives, right?
Yes, we talked we talked more so Mormon Wives.
Okay.
Yeah. We didn't talk too much Housewives stuff, but yeah, we went a lot into like Mormon Wives things.
And Eric and I have been in talks of doing a episode together for the OC reunion, so I'm gonna be around, fam.
Hell yeah.
Come chat with me.
So just real quick before we do a quick little speed round of what we've missed so far, give us a follow, subscribe to our YouTube channel if you're watching
she
on
remembered in the
YouTube.
beginning.
I know, crazy. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, or X, whatever the fuck
It's Twitter.
you call it. It's Twitter.
Elon Musk can suck my dick. It's Twitter.
I think I'm gonna start going into more deep diving, like shows that I've already watched, recapping and whatnot for Patreon. Shows that already kind of existed. So like
Am I almost done with the pods?
the pop. Oh Jesus.
Ooh.
Well, we're not there yet. Let's like get through what we got to get through first.
Okay,
And then we'll go into that.
sorry. You were talking about other shows, and I am almost done with the pods.
We could maybe do Love Island. We could probably do Love is Blind on Patreon.
I feel like we should
Just make those like little Zoom things, and just so we can get them in and out, and people can watch those on Patreon if they'd like.
Y'all, I'm ready. It's gearing up to be a hoot.
Oh, yes. So here's what we missed so far. Like I said, we're basically just going to do a little speed round of it. We're not going to go too in depth because so much time has passed. There's so much more to talk about. And we're going to try and keep this episode a little more bite-sized for you guys instead of like the 2-hour-long episodes that we're used to doing. So just know how much self-control that's going to be for both of us. But basically, so far, we've missed Jack spending a whole month in a rehab facility and suddenly thinking that he's like a whole new person, followed by him getting out and getting hit with divorce papers from Britney. That's pretty awesome. Lala had her baby and named her Sosa Kent, which I believe was Portuguese for a body of water or salt water or something like that. That may or may not be
My
true.
mind automatically went to the Superstore character Amy Sosa, so.
Yeah, right. Kristen Doty and her boyfriend Luke have gotten engaged, so they are now an engaged couple, which will make some really good content for season 2 of The Valley. Jax is once again burning bridges with the people who had helped him while he was in rehab, like Brock, because there was that brief exchange, which we did post about on the gram when it happened. They were just going back and forth, and then I guess nothing happened since then. Non-Bravo related, because I feel like this is still pretty important to talk about all around the board. P. Diddy was arrested in New York and denied bail charges for crimes that are so heinous that I won't say it on here. But to give some context clues, there was a raid of his home, and there were over 1,000 bottles of baby oil that were found and seized and whatever. He's now facing a whole lot of claims. Accusations, I guess we'll call them.
That P. Diddy list is about to look just like the Epstein list. I'm telling you.
It's
the Venn diagram is...
And in relation to that now, there's a lot of eyes being paying attention to people and how much they're thanking Beyonce. Because Beyonce is now it being thrown in the mix here. Kind of scary if you think about it.
Listen, I've always been a little sus of Beyonce and Jay-Z. There was always something there that didn't sit right with me.
Why do they rule Hollywood so much when Beyonce's only around once a year?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. It's always been a little off.
So time will tell, I guess, because P. Diddy's not going to court until sometime in 2025 or 2026, something around
He is in jail. He was denied bail.
Yes.
So
he's going to be sitting in that cell for quite a while.
Yeah, he had his passport seized. He was not allowed bail, which obviously because the raid happened and that homeboy fled real fast.
Real quick.
The other tea, the Eras Tour is ending soon, guys.
Oh, and by the way, Rachel quit her podcast so that her manager, Juliet, could take over.
Yeah, that was dumb.
So the podcast is now called Going Rogue.
I thought Joe was supposed to be on it.
She was once or twice.
I saw something that like Joe was gonna be. It's like her manager was doing it, but then they're gonna bring in. So it's like from what I saw, was it her manager was doing a couple episodes.
Joe has a manager,
or whoever is taking over the podcast.
Oh, Rachel's manager.
Rachel,
okay.
And then it's just gonna be a string of guest hosts. Like there's not one particular person that's like hosting the podcast anymore, which is just let it die.
It's giving, you know what? It's giving that podcast can't end before the contract lapses, or else somebody's going to have to owe somebody a lot of money.
Speaking of podcasts, Sandy Balls is back on his pod.
Oh, yeah. Just when we thought we were rid of him.
Him and Victoria have moved in together.
They sure have.
I'm pretty sure into her place.
The house is finally being sold, or at least it's going on the market.
Good.
So, thank the Lord.
Ariana is on a whirlwind vacation with her boyfriend.
Yep. Vanderpump Rules is potentially preparing for a future without Ariana and potentially without Lisa Vanderpump as well.
Bye.
Because here's the thing, right? The rumors started swirling about contract issues. People are holding up the start of production because production was supposed to technically start already. It's now been delayed even more.
What was it? Contract negotiations, they said?
Yes, but people automatically assumed it was just Ariana or Lala or whatever. But the truth is, they forget that Lisa Vanderpump is the most expensive cast member.
Correct.
At all.
Correct.
Because the show is literally called Vanderpump Rules. She's an executive producer. She's the one collecting the fattest paycheck out of everybody there. So, yeah, Ariana probably is a close second. But Ariana is also not going to deny a paycheck that's bigger than everything else than she's ever made because she has her tenure.
She is also going to be on the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, fam.
Yeah.
I don't know for what, but she will be.
Something tells me she's going to probably perform something from Chicago.
Guys, we saw her. It was awesome.
Yeah, it was awesome. Oh, shit, right.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. We stopped filming.
We were going to we had a whole intention to like vlog the day, right? We went to like the Broadway Museum. We had lunch. We walked around. We went to the theater. Like we had a really great day.
We sat around in Times Square.
It was really great. It was a wonderful day. We were going to go to a Valley Watch party after and then realized we had a really long walk there and then a really long drive home, so we didn't.
And by the time we would have gotten there, it was over.
It was over. We had every intention of like vlogging this day, right, for the YouTube. We were going to be really cool about it. And then we just got so excited and so into it. And then we were on the drive home. We were like, we forgot. So,
yeah.
I don't think we even really Instagrammed that day either.
There were a couple stories here and there, but not really like anything major. But we did post about it.
We did,
least.
yes.
So,
yeah.
You know, the proof was in the pudding at least.
We did take photographic evidence that we met Ariana.
That was cool. That was really cool.
She was so freaking nice, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she was so sweet.
Not for nothing, too, and I didn't know that this was not a nightly thing, but we apparently showed up to the show that had a Q&A after the show with Ariana.
It was awesome.
Not at all planned on purpose. Didn't know that it was even going to happen that night.
No.
But
No.
we stayed after the show for the Q&A, got some really great front row seats for that, and you know, she did a Q&A with Teffy or Tiffy. I'm so sorry if I'm mispronouncing her name.
I don't remember.
But the both of them reposted our post.
They did?
After that
They
day.
did.
So
Her boyfriend was there.
her boyfriend.
Okay, the distance between me and her boyfriend was like from me to Tay right now.
Well, it's
It's a small little, like the entrance to the theater is small. Like the hallway is not large, dude.
we are walking out of the theater, right? And like honestly, I was not paying attention. Oh, Katie and Dana were there that
Katie
night
and Dana
too.
were there? Oh my God, that was really fun.
We were so focused on Katie and Dana having been there that night that as we're walking out of the theater, I look up and there he was. There was Dan.
Literally smacking her arm. It's fucking Dan! And he literally, I
and
swear.
I'm just like, what?
We made eye contact and he was like,
He was probably just like, oh my God, these fucking
oh God,
fangirls.
it's Vanderpump fans.
So sorry.
Sorry,
about that.
Dan.
We
Sorry,
were a
Dan.
little starstruck.
It was really fun. And then once we figured out that Katie and Dana were there, you could make out which one was there hollering when, like, after a song or at like curtain call and stuff. Like, Ariana would sing or do something, and you could hear the cheering, and you could pick Dana's voice out so perfectly from the crowd. It was hysterical. God. It was awesome.
That
it was really
such
great.
a time.
It was what a fun day that was.
And then life got boring after all of that. So what have we been doing since then? Well, since then, I finished Summer House. I started my Real Housewives journey. I am currently on season 7 of OC.
So you got the Jesus drugs. You're psychotic, Jesus jugs. You're psychotic.
Well,
you haven't gotten to that part of the reunion yet?
I just started season 7 last night, but I was wondering who the fuck is Jesus Jugs?
Okay, there's one. Okay, no, I think it's a season 7 reunion. Then it has to be this one because I know it's Tamara and Gretchen are friends, I think, at this reunion. But it's one of the most iconic reunion moments ever. Tamara's got like fucking Texas pageant mom hair, and she's just going, "You're psychotic, Jesus Jugs. You're psychotic."
I've seen the clip before too, so I'm definitely looking forward to it.
Yeah,
I have many opinions of a lot of these people, but to put it in further context too of what's happening, I met Heather Dubrow for the very first time.
Love Heather,
and it's funny because every time I see her husband Terry, all I'm thinking is, am I watching Botched? Because obviously he's the Botched doctor. Mm-hmm. And it's just so weird seeing him on a Housewives show.
You're in for such a fun ride because you have the Gretchen fallout, and then you've got Shannon comes in, and her and Heather have a thing, and then
who and Heather have a thing?
Shannon and Heather have like a whole. Shannon's first season is fucking crazy.
Oh Lord!
And then you have Megan come in, and then you have the Brooks cancer scam.
I was wondering because I see that Vicky.
You're next.
We ended season 6 with Vicky filing for divorce, and then all of a sudden she's dating Brooks, and
your next like 5 seasons.
Oh my God!
Is nothing but like a punch in the face every single time. It is the next like 5 seasons are so good, and then it kind of falls off, and now it's picked back up again because it's just the new season just ended, and it was a good one. But like, you're in for a hoot.
I don't know if this is a controversial opinion or not, but I'll be honest. I'm gonna miss Gretchen.
I loved Gretchen.
Gretchen's my favorite.
She was fun. She was a hoot. I loved her. I have to say her last season, I didn't love her as much in that last season, but I liked Gretchen.
Yeah.
I liked Gretchen.
She seems so far like the realest out of all of the Housewives.
Yeah, I think towards the end, her last season, she came off really fake. It really definitely, she fell off there a little bit. They put her out
in a blaze of glory, huh?
Yeah. But she was pretty good. The season when her and Tamara are friends is one of my favorite seasons. I rewatched that this season. It's Heather's first season. It's Heather's first season, and it's the season when her and Tamara are friends. It is one of my favorite season rewatches.
It feels weird also watching the Bellinos be married, and like I already obviously know. I don't know like the full extent of the Bellinos and like their history and whatever, but obviously I've known that they are obviously not together now.
No.
Which Bellino was having a lot of drama this past year. Alexis. Okay.
She is dating.
Jim's obviously with somebody else. She is
dating Shannon's ex-boyfriend.
Oh,
who is suing her for $75,000, I believe. I don't know I don't know the context of the end of the lawsuit. I haven't looked it up. I'm letting the television tell me. Eyes switching.
Oh Lord. Well, that's where we're at so far. Mm-hmm. It feels weird being almost at like the halfway mark already through OC. So I'm hoping to continue putting in those hours and and then I'll start Beverly Hills after that.
That's a good one.
And then I'll probably do New Jersey after that. Mm-hmm. G and I actually talked a little bit of the new Housewives of London show that's coming.
I'm excited for that. I think Ladies of London was fire.
I will start probably with the house. I'll take a tangent just to watch London so I can be like in the know with everybody else at that point. Maybe we can recap a little bit of that. That'll be next year. Mm-hmm. And that's where I've been at so far. I've watched I watched Love is Blind, the UK season 1, which was okay. I actually did enjoy it. I liked that they didn't focus so hard on the drama compared to the US seasons. I did watch this season of Love is Blind US. I know you're currently watching it right now. I did finish Summer House, y'all. So I will be down for watching the new season with Lindsay, being very pregnant, and I am very excited for that. So we got to get you on Summer House before next summer.
I know.
Where are you at so far on Love is Blind?
I can tell you right now, look up on my Netflix. I think everybody is almost engaged. I think I have like one more couple that's getting engaged.
Oh, so you're still in the pods?
I am in the pods. Yeah. I have been flipping between that and finishing my Charmed watch.
Okay.
Because I was getting Charmed clips on my TikTok, and I was like, oh my God, I love this show. I haven't watched it in like a decade. So this was almost like watching it for the first time.
I see.
So I just finished season 7 last night, and I don't like the final season, so I will not be watching. So now I am done. So now I will focus solely on Love is Blind. Episode 5. I am on episode 5.
Okay.
So they're about to go to Cabo San Lucas.
Mm-hmm. Oh, fucking nay.
Yes. I will say yesterday I Snapchatted Taylor. I was like, oh my God, I love, what did I say, Steven?
You said Steven, and then you also talked about Ramses a little
Yes.
bit. And all I could say, because I've obviously seen it all, I'm not going to spoil anything, but just keep watching.
Okay. Who is Taylor engaged to? Garrett. I like them too.
I'm like I said, I really don't want to spoil anything, so I'm not going to give you my opinions.
I'm so scared.
I don't want to cause any feelings one way or the other, so I'm just going to tell you to keep watching because
I will as soon as I'm home tonight.
I don't want to spoil anything good and I don't want to spoil anything bad, but just keep watching.
Yeah.
This season was overall fucking terrible.
So far, I liked the pods. The pod episodes were pretty decent this season.
The pods, I will give it. The pods normally are the most boring part of the entire
really
season,
great.
but they were giving so much promise.
What's his name when his whole manipulation screeching at Hannah?
Oh, Leo.
Yes. Yeah. Is he the one that's the art dealer?
Yes.
Oh my God.
The one who only talks about how obscenely rich he is.
And he hates that all the women only date him for his money. Sir, stop talking about it. How many times he plugged his fucking Rolex? Okay, because
all the time.
like binge watching, right? I don't have to wait a week for episodes to come in bulk, right? I have them all ready to go. And I counted the amount of times this man talked about his fucking Rolex. Every time you flip over to the guy's house, this man's talking about a Rolex.
Yeah.
It's so gross. He gave me the ick right away.
Guys who make being rich their entire personality is so gross.
He gave me the ick right away. I knew right away. And that guy, that's last name is like Dork or something.
Oh, Dorka.
Yep. He also gave me the ick right away.
Oh, he sucks. I don't even care about spoiling anything, but he sucks.
Oh, I'm
not going to tell you what happens, but he fucking sucks.
No, I could tell. Him and Leo gave me the ick right away. I really like... Ramses seems pretty cool for now. And then the 2 other guys that got engaged.
Oh, who was it? I don't want to risk spoiling who else gets engaged because I don't remember who else gets engaged, but
they were all
by the end of the pods at least. I think I do actually, but I don't want to say. But
so far, they all are dumb, and I hate them all, but I hate some of them less than others.
Is one of them the guy who specifically bought the yellow shirt because his ex didn't like it?
I believe he's one of them. Tim, yes. I don't remember who's engaged right now and who's not.
That's fair.
Because
You're still
the pods are happening. I'm
people.
still getting to know them. So we'll see. But so far, usually when I watch the show, when I'm right, I'm usually right. I think I've only been wrong a couple times.
Yeah.
So I'm a little nervous, considering your very doomsday-esque Snapchat reply yesterday. Just wait. Just wait.
Yeah.
After I'm over here gushing about how much I love this one couple. Yeah.
Oh my God. It was a season. I will say it was a season.
I am also caught up on Salt Lake.
Oh, Salt Lake, I also have to.
Yes, you
maybe
do.
I'll bump Salt Lake over New Jersey.
You should.
Yeah.
It's like 4 seasons. We're literally on 5 right now.
I was going to say, their season 5 is just starting, right?
We just started, yes.
Okay.
So far, so good.
Maybe I'll do that one next, just to get it out of the way.
Oh, it's been great. I'm
Yeah.
having a hoot and a holler.
Oh my God. I'm trying to think. Have you been watching Dancing with the Stars?
Actually, I watched the dedication episode because Jen was dedicating it to Taylor Swift.
Fair.
And as a diehard Swiftie, and it was multiple reasons. One, I love Sasha.
Oh, Sasha's
He's one of my
fun.
favorite pros. I wanted to see the dedication episode is one I watch every season regardless of who is on it, just because I love the emotionalness. I'm emo AF, guys. You know that.
Last year, I feel like
They did most
night-
memorable year. So they flip
that's
it
what
back
was.
and forth.
It's the same concept.
It's the same concept. It's always like a little slightly different. So they don't do the same most memorable year or dedication night. They do either or.
The last 2 years, maybe it's because this is also my only 3rd season that I've watched, but the last 2 years made me sob like a baby
Oh my
for that
God.
night because I've just been very invested in the cast.
I cried dedication night. I don't know anybody, but I was sobbing. I was crying. It was beautiful.
This one definitely didn't have me as invested, but it is one of my favorites out of
It was
all of the
really
nights.
sweet. It was really sweet. Steve's dance was beautiful. Iona's dance, I love her.
Oh, Alona, yeah. I love her.
And I bet I say for Jen, and they really made me watch that whole entire episode to put it at the end because she was dancing to The Archer, which is my absolute number 1 favorite Taylor Swift song, Till I Die. Like number 1 spot. Nothing's ever gonna top that song.
I wonder if they're still gonna do Taylor Night this year,
I kind of really hope so.
right? Because I feel like it made
was
sense.
so fun last year.
It made sense last year, right? Because she was still in the height of her Eras tour. But I feel like she's still like hot enough to where they can get away with doing it again.
We have 6 shows in Toronto coming up, and then I believe 6 in Vancouver, and we are done.
And that's it.
It's very sad.
Yeah.
I did not get to go, guys. It's a sore spot for the rest of my life.
You went virtually though, so.
So many times. I was it was virtually in Indy on Sunday. I was virtually in New Orleans Friday weekend before.
So you actually had the best seat in the house.
Yeah, and a lot of the live streams too, when you watch it, a lot of the people will take multiple live streams that people are doing, so you get different angles all the time.
Oh, I love that.
So I get to watch the concert from like 4 different seats, and it's really cool. It's still not as good as being there,
Maybe not.
but it's still okay. My friend did go to New Orleans, and she did buy me merch while I was there that you can only get at the show, so like that was really cool. But I hope they do Taylor Night. It was really, really fun.
Yeah.
But I watched that. I watched the Halloween episode. Because episodes like that where there's a theme, I like to pop in and watch the dances for.
Yeah.
I am really sad that Jen and Sasha got voted off.
Yeah, I feel like she got robbed that week because they gave her a whole 10. She won in the dance off that week.
Yes.
And then they still sent her home.
Yes.
I think the opinions have been the same all across the board, but I think Carrie Ann is not judging very fairly right
Absolutely
now.
not. Absolutely not. You can see the jealousy she has for the younger women. Like, it's literally... It's gross. She is so in, like, some of the guys should not be getting the scores that they are getting. I'm sorry.
But not for nothing. How is everybody getting a 10 except for Chandler, who arguably is the best dancer for the entire season? I will say Joey is up there.
Joey's doing so good.
I was so surprised at
too.
how well
Me too.
both Joey and Jen, because I feel like you don't often get a bachelor or bachelorette that's that good. Actually, Gabby Windy was actually really good. So maybe I'm lying. Okay, I'm going to take back actually what I was saying. But Joey, I was really pleasantly surprised by. Like, he really outdid, I feel like,
really
a lot
well.
of
Steve is
Bachelor
doing
people.
much better than I thought he would.
I'm actually not as surprised. And maybe it's because I always associate athletes with like that grit to do really well.
I'm really loving that Whitney is back this season.
Love
she is one of my
Whitney.
all-time favorite pros. She choreographs so beautiful. Like
So
her
good.
choreography since the first time she was a pro has been stellar across the board.
Yeah.
Like her dances are always incredible.
I feel like a lot of the pros are really competing for my favorite right now. There's Whitney. Emma's always been up there.
Emma's
for my
always up
favorite.
there. Oh yeah.
And then there's Riley.
Oh my god.
Riley
yes.
is so good.
It's really nice to see her with someone who's not a tree.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
They robbed her with hair
You really
jealousy.
didn't get to see her talent last year.
Yeah.
And now you really do.
She carried the weight
Absolutely,
on her
100%.
back.
Also, the weird people on the internet that were like shipping her and Harry.
Oh,
were,
that-
like,
yeah.
Yeah. Guys, can we stop doing that?
They're trying to
Okay?
make that happen though with everybody this year.
It's the new fan base. I'm gonna be honest. It's the new people coming in and watching all these younger crowds, and I don't like being your millennial older sister telling y'all to like these younger kids, but it really is like this younger group coming in, and it's gross. But I will say, in terms of shipping, guys, I think we're right about Sasha and Jen dating.
That's what
I
everybody's
really
saying.
think we're right. Okay, they're sprinkling, the clues are there. Okay, that TikTok they posted the other day, she was in his kitchen. I really hope they are because they're really cute together. She deserves someone. Sasha deserves someone. I love Sasha.
Yeah. We're definitely at the point now in the season where I feel like, and I've been feeling this for the last 2 weeks at least. Anybody who goes home at this point is going to hurt. It sucks.
Yeah, we're at the point now where everyone's really good. Is Phaedra still on, right?
No, she's been
Okay.
gone for a while. I think she went home on Halloween.
Oh, okay.
For the
All right.
Halloween, not obviously Halloween like what just happened Halloween, but the week before when they did because she was in the team dances.
Okay.
And they were dressed up as lions and stuff.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
She was doing pretty well. I was really impressed with her.
I know. She did so good.
She did. I just say, this season, everybody seems to be pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's no trees.
There's no trees. No trees. Everybody actually gives a shit this season.
Yeah, you can tell.
I'm trying to think of like what other tea is going
Should we
on
talk
now.
about the Katie drama?
Oh, you know what? I guess so.
Should we talk about the Katie drama?
We could talk a little bit about the
Okay,
Katie drama.
so Katie's new boyfriend. What is he? 5 seconds to summer?
No, Sleeping with Sirens.
Sleeping with Sirens. I
Which
knew
is
it was multiple S's.
really, really disappointing because Sleeping with Sirens is a great band.
Yes. So apparently they are dating. And when it came out publicly they were dating, a slew of women came out from the woodwork. And I always say, where there's smoke, there's fire. And if there's more than one, it's probably correct.
Which is really, again, and it's funny too because in the moment that it came out that she was dating this guy, right? My first thought was, this is very appropriate for her.
Oh yeah, totally.
To date somebody that's in like one of those emo bands, it feels
Yes,
very on brand
yes.
for her. But now, since these accusations started coming out, not a great look.
No.
Very, very scary, upsetting, and I hate to say it, a regression,
Yes.
maybe, from Tom Schwartz.
Yeah. So women came out to, saying that he cheated on his wife with them, he cheated on Katie with them, he, all around, terrible human being. And Katie, I believe, in a comment had said, we were not dating exclusively till X date, so all of these women that he was with beforehand was fine because we were not exclusive. I think that's a little crock of shit. I'm not gonna lie. I think if you're dating someone, you're dating someone. What is with this, like...
The gray area there is really just like if they haven't had that conversation to make it exclusive. Like, I understand it. It just...
I don't know. She's doubling down on him, and I think it's a poor decision on her part because let's not tie ourselves to a trash man. But it seems to be on par with her. I think, too, it just comes off as she is tired of being alone.
I don't know though.
I don't get it. Like you are beautiful and she owns a business. Like Katie could pull so much better than this like wet blanket t-shirt guy. Like, I'm sorry, I look at him and I'm not thinking catch, okay? What about him is like worth all of this?
Yeah. No, agreed.
It's just weird. It's weird. So that's going down. Sandoval talked to Page 6 the other day.
He's still talking?
Yes.
Oh,
Framed
God.
lawyers behind Reality Reckoning accused of enticing Tom Sandoval to point the finger at Bravo, NBC, Universal.
Oh, yes.
So he has fired Rachel's lawyer's brother as his lawyer, and now he's saying that they were trying to get him, that Rachel was going to drop the lawsuit if he blamed Bravo.
Which is crazy because he framed it as like, oh, they're dropping charges, which you can't do in a fucking civil case. There are no charges.
Yes.
There should be charges because what you did is a criminal offense, but they took you to civil court for that reason. And also, I think Rachel's lawyer said something to the effect of like he got this information from the lawyer that he fired, which is weird because what are you doing talking to the lawyer that you fired? Like, did you actually fire them? That's very sus.
Brittany, my child is my priority, has been doing a lot of drinking, a lot of partying, a lot of not taking care of her son. Jax wrongly filed his paperwork. He was going to represent himself in the divorce, wrongly filed his paperwork, is not pursuing custody of Cruz, to the shock of absolutely nobody.
Of course not.
I believe that is everything. Katie's dating trash. Tom and Tom do not seem to be friends. Tom and Jax.
Brittany and Lala are Eskimo sisters.
Yes. Tom, Sandy Balls, and Jaxie are BFFs again. He has moved in. The house is, I'm assuming, now vacant.
Yeah, probably. Probably going on the
Ariana
market.
I'm assuming she has moved into her new home.
Oh, long move.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, she bought that house when? Like sometime over the summer?
Yeah.
Or something like
Lala
that?
had her baby. She's adorable as fuck. All babies are cute. I've never known a not cute baby.
Oh, Lala on Jeff Lewis's podcast.
I hate Lala.
Still doubling down on this whole feud with Ariana.
Ariana is like, so beyond done and over it and like far past. Like, she doesn't even talk about it anymore. And Lala's over here like, I just don't understand why she wanted us to do that and was still living in his house. Okay, also.
And even the hosts, Ryan Bailey, so good with Ryan Bailey, and Jeff Lewis both had to kind of point out to her, you know, why this makes no sense. And she's just not getting.
Because she's dumb. I will say, we were discussing it when this whole Jeff Lewis thing came out. I have a small brain, guys, okay? I'm remembering it now. When this was coming out, we were all talking about it on the Reddit pages. Majority Vanderpumpaholics is the one that I'm on more so of because it's more active than the other one. It's also a little bit friendlier than the other Vanderpump Reddit, I'm not gonna lie. But we were discussing it and somebody had pointed out the timeline of these events. Somebody had pointed out on the thread, we were talking about Lala and all these things, the actual timeline of events of the show, right? Because we saw the recorded episodes almost a year after they had been filmed, right? So you think about it. When season 11 aired, we are 9 months removed.
About 6 or 7 months.
6 or 7 months removed, right? And a whole year post Scandival, right? Mm-hmm. So to us, right, as the viewer, it is fresh. We are so far removed from this situation, right? To them, on the episodes, Lala was saying all of this stuff no more than 3 weeks post-reunion. The reunion happened, and what was it, like 3 weeks later, they were like filming the new season. Yeah. A month later, they started filming the new season. So she started this rhetoric and this issue with Ariana a month after she screamed at Sandoval. and said Ariana's hurt. I don't think people understand this. Her hurt was incredibly fresh. Like we were maybe 4 months removed from Scandival when they started filming again.
And even in the season 2, Ariana explained what the financial issues were when everything kind of broke down. So she's not only stuck in this house, she's forced to take every opportunity under the sun because she needs to get the money to get the fuck out
to
of
get
the house.
out of this house. And I just don't understand this whole why didn't she leave? Why didn't she leave? Why didn't he leave? Why are we continuously saying, well, she should leave? He's the one that
the man who cheated and broke the relationship somehow should get the house. And I to an extent, right, I kind of sort of a little bit understand what she's saying. In the sense of, oh, well, we know he's a narcissist. We know he's not going to leave. So why do we expect this from him? And the answer is that you should be pushing this on him because he's the asshole.
And I just hate that she keeps coming. I think it comes down to jealousy with her because what happened with Randall, incredibly similar to what happened with Tom.
Oh, yeah.
But the problem is you had absolutely zero ownership of that home with him.
Yep.
You had to leave. You had to leave.
Yeah.
You didn't own that home. And Ariana owns this house. It is half hers. Mm-hmm. So she doesn't have to leave like you did. You had to leave.
Yeah.
And she has an issue, I feel like, where her jealousy comes in, where she's upset that Ariana is getting what she deems she should have.
And her only way to make it make sense to her is, and she's speaking with Emily Hanks was actually the one to point this out. She said that she noticed that Lala will do this thing where she'll make up a scenario in which something would be okay for one person but not for her.
It is classic rules for we, not for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's weird. I'm never gonna understand her for it.
No.
But you know what? It is what it is.
They had such an opportunity to really go full Spice Girls. And
that's what I feel like that's what everybody was hoping for that past
because
season.
didn't they do that on Summer House where like half the girls hated each other but they like rallied around each other for
yes, when Carl and Lindsay's engagement ended, Paige, who is not always a big fan of Lindsay, even Paige kind of all the girls really came together and went to Lindsay's apartment and they all gave her a pep talking that she needed, and that was really needed. Summer House did what Vanderpump could not. And, you know, it was really disappointing. And I think that going into this season, I think the production knows that if they don't handle it, at least handle their exits with tender love and care, nobody's going to give a shit.
No.
Not that they care at this point, right? Because they have the Valley now to fall back on.
Yeah.
So this... I don't know what this means for this season. I mean, obviously, they're not going to... As of right now, filming will happen sometime next year. I think they said, like, somewhere in January, winter of 2025.
They were shooting for now. We had speculated months ago. We were like, oh, they'll start filming in October when she's done with Chicago. And then contracts are taking an incredibly long time. And so...
I didn't even... To be honest with you, I didn't even realize it until that article came out, and I was like, oh shit, yeah, October's basically over and here we are. Mm-hmm. We still haven't started filming. That's weird.
I think too there's the rumor floating that they are bringing in new people, so they're trying to transition this where they're keeping the old cast to do it in a very housewife way where they bring in the new people to slowly filter out the old people, and then so by the time that it's just the new cast, you're so used to them that it doesn't feel jarring anymore.
That's fair, yeah.
And I think that is bringing in a problem with the money because they can't afford to pay Lisa, Ariana, Tom, blah, 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 all the money that they're making before because they now have to try and pay these new people
on top of an entire production crew too.
Yeah, location fees, like
permits to film.
I mean, filming at the houses are one thing, filming at the restaurants are another, especially when they're restaurants that Lisa owns because she's on the show. But when they film at like the parks, the other restaurants, like these different clubs, like that's a lot of money in permits they have to pay for.
Yep.
They have to have the people there sign waivers that they're okay being on. Like a lot goes into producing these seasons, which I don't think people realize. Also, the fact that the Bravo film crews are used, there's not that many of them. It's not like one per show, like normal television where you have the people who film this NBC show, right? And then you have a whole different crew that film this other NBC show, right? Or an ABC show or whatever you have. In Bravo, sometimes the Housewives filming crew is the same crew that filmed Vanderpump 3 months ago, right? Or the Below Deck filming crew is the same ones that film something else for Bravo. There's like 5 crews that just gets like filtered between the shows. So it's another issue because they're also all filming 5 other things right now. They have to find a crew to film for Vanderpump. Like when we pulled back for Scandival, they had to pull a housewife crew real quick because the Vanderpump crew was already off doing something else and couldn't come in. And there's like, I think that people are forgetting that there's like so many little intricate details that are going into them like filming that like that's why it's taking so long. It's not just because Ariana wants more money or Lala wants more money or Lisa wants more money.
Who doesn't want to film with who.
Doesn't want to film with who or what contract says what. Like it
comes down to money.
It comes down to money and it comes down to having the ability to do it. If you're going to have like a 10 cast party, there are 10 people you have to pay. Yep. And of those 10 people, 5 of them have been on the show for a decade, right? And then you've got the crew you have to pay.
Yep.
Which obviously doesn't make as much as the rest, but and then you have, like, there's so much money that goes into filming this that, like, it's going to take them a minute to get everything correct, and then they may have to pull money from from their producers or from ad placements, right? Like we see it all the time. They will slyly put like Bloom in a shot or like the alcohol or the batteries or something.
There's also just the ad revenue that comes in from the commercials that are happening in between.
There's a lot. It's gonna take a minute, and they're still not even like a set date for it to come back.
Nope.
They may not ever come, honestly. It may get to the point where the negotiation and the money is just not there, and so they just scrap it all together.
They scrap it, and maybe they just start
and then just completely exactly. Yeah. So we still have no idea. We have no idea, and I'm kind of okay with that. Take your time.
I'm okay with that too, and also, like I said, they have the Valley to fall back on because they already shot the Valley,
and it looks like a bum ass season.
Maybe.
I'm kind of excited.
I'm looking forward to it. I mean, you have what? Jax and Brittany's divorce.
Yep.
You have Brittany hooking up with Jax's friend, the one that Lala brought into the mix.
Yep.
I hate to say it, Sheena and Lala are there.
Yep.
We have Kristen getting engaged. Mm-hmm. I know that there's more things that are not coming to mind right now.
Jax coming back.
Jax going to rehab and coming back. Yeah, exactly.
We don't even know why he was forced to go to rehab. That's the thing, is that
there's so many things that we can think of. There's so
many reasons for them to push him to go. And I firmly am in the belief that this was not this. Okay. This really irks me.
Drugs and anger management are my guess.
This really irks me that he keeps saying that he has these diagnoses and that he was in a mental health institution, because when he was not, he had full access to his phone. That man was not in a mental health facility. You do not have your phone in a mental health facility.
Don't forget, too, about that time that he put out a podcast episode and the copy in the episode, in the description, literally wrote out rehab. And then they had to go in, scrap it, and then put in a mental health facility or whatever.
And I'm sorry, as someone who has been in therapy weekly, now bi-weekly, but weekly since January 22, you are not getting that kind of diagnosis in 4 weeks.
Oh my God. What? Oh my God. Can we segue, please, now that you just said the trigger words?
Go.
I may only be 7 seasons into OC.
Okay, I'm ready.
I may only be, but there is nothing in this world that can be said or done to make me feel sympathy for, feel empathy for, any of that sort for Tamra fucking Judge. Holy shit. She sucks.
I knew that's where you were going. Oh my God.
Because what was it? Only a couple weeks ago.
After one therapy session, homegirls, I'm autistic.
One therapy session, and apparently this therapist said, you are showing signs of being on the spectrum. And she took that and ran with it. Ran with it to her podcast.
Listen, her and Jax are of the same cloth, okay? They are the same cloth.
She did eventually come out and say, you know, like, I spoke too soon, this, that, and the other. But the fact that she did it at all is fucking insane.
This is why most therapists don't give you your diagnosis, because you take it and run with it and you use it as confirmation for why you think, feel, do XYZ, and it hinders your therapy. I was not given my actual diagnosis until incredibly recently, when I was mentally okay enough to accept it, receive it, and not use it as an excuse as to why I think certain ways, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not even a destructive, mentally ill person like Jax, right? Jax is a narcissist.
He is destructive.
Jax is a destructive narcissist. He is not depressed. He does not have PTSD, okay? This man is a narc. Textbook narc. And I'm gonna say Tamara kinda is too.
She's insane. I don't understand. I get that there are people who like her.
Yeah.
To an extent.
She's good television, terrible person.
I don't see what other people see in her. I don't like Vicky Gumbelson either.
Oh, fuck that.
That bitch is
Vicky's garbage. You're gonna start hating her. You're gonna start hating her even more.
Like, I will say I did actually have a moment where I felt bad for her, because I did see the clip of her finding out her mom died. That was heartbreaking. I cried actually watching that. So I know I'm going to cry again watching the show.
Every time I rewatch and I get to that scene, I am bawling. There are certain moments where I still cry, but that's still
a moment where I actually was able to feel empathy for her, as opposed to fucking Tamara.
Well, because you're a good person. But the only time I think I've ever really had empathy for Tamara was in the original stages of her divorce from Simon.
I didn't even feel bad for her then. I'm not even going to lie. Yes, I will say, and it's because I can look at things, right, and see things for what they are. She definitely was a victim in her marriage with Simon. He was nuts.
She doesn't help her case after the fact, though.
No.
And I think both her and Simon are trash, because you look at their children. Her son doesn't speak to his father. Her one daughter doesn't speak to her. Mm-hmm. And then there's the one child stuck in the middle that kind of talks to both.
Yeah.
Right? So in that instance, you're kind of like, look at the kids and you're like, well, so they're both garbage.
Yeah.
They're both garbage people who did garbage things to each other and now have permanently damaged the psyche of their children.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
But yeah, Jax really pissed me off with the, I have PTSD. I have baby. No, you do not. 1 month in a facility like that, no credited therapist is going to give a man like Jax his diagnosis, because they're going to know. I give that to him and he's going to run with it, and it's going to be excuse for, don't be mad at me. I didn't mean to do it. It was just my blah, blah, blah.
Suck it.
You can have issues and still be an asshole, right? You do. How long have we been saying this on the podcast? An asshole is an asshole. You do shitty things, you're a shitty person. I don't give a fuck whether you donate to charity or you're LGBT or you've been a victim of I don't give a fuck. You do shitty things, you're a shitty person. You're consistently doing shitty things, you are just a shitty person.
Yes.
End of story.
And you have no self-awareness whatsoever
None.
To the things that they're doing.
Mr. Family Man, who was all about #dad life, could give two fucks about his son.
Yeah.
Miss Ma'am over here from Kentucky, who wanted so badly to work with special needs children, can't even take her kid to get diagnosed.
No.
Is not doing anything for her nonverbal child.
I will give her this, though. I'm sure she hasn't gotten sick once since leaving that fucking asshole.
Oh, please. She is drinking every fucking weekend. Every day you see this woman on her Instagram drinking, partying, doing something.
Shit, wouldn't you if you had a nanny or a parent take care of your kid for you?
But it just irks me because she is my child is my life. He's not. He's not. Alcohol is your life. Alcohol is your life. Your husband is a narcissist and you're an alcoholic, and that poor child is suffering. Every single time she posts him on her story, he's hiding from the camera. She's grabbing at him because it's gross. It's gross. Let that baby be. Stop pushing camera in his face and go take him to, like, speech therapy. It's just frustrating because they just want to keep saying, oh, my child is my life, but he's not your life.
Yeah.
He's not your life. If your child was your life, you would so quickly get off these fucking shows, stop drinking, and be there for your child who is losing his home.
Yeah.
On top of going through something where he can't communicate. He doesn't talk.
Yeah. How old is he now? 3?
Yes. He should be full sentence,
Yeah.
personality, engaging, and he's not. And he's not. He is the same age as Hartford and Ocean.
Yeah.
And
Luckily,
what's her face?
I will say, luckily, he's young enough to where Jax and Brittany can still separate, and this can still be his normal.
Yes.
He's not gonna remember.
No.
I was about that age when my parents separated too.
No.
And it was, you don't have formative memories really all that much of your parents together, so this is still very good for him. This is at least one less trauma to deal with, depending on how they handle the back and forth with Cruz.
It clearly doesn't look like they're doing that well of a job. From the outside.
Time
and
will
I
tell.
know we're not supposed to judge per Instagram, but from what I see, the two of them could care less about that child.
Status is status.
Jax is out here putting his willy in anything that bats their eyelashes at him and partying it up with Sandy Balls. Okay? And she's out here partying it up with the Valley people and all her other friends, drinking and dressing in AliExpress.
Oh my God. So to close it all out, I will say, I tried to keep BravoCon on the radar.
Okay.
For next year.
Okay.
So if all works out okay, like if I'm able to get the PTO, if you're able to take the time off, we're trying to go to BravoCon this coming year. They did take a year off hiatus. You might talk to G about it later, but we talked a little bit about that, and maybe like if we're able to make it work, we'll do like the whole split a hotel situation.
When is it?
I don't think there's a hard date for it yet. I didn't see anything about it, but I added myself to like those text notifications.
Oh, good. Okay.
And I prioritized that I want to know when it's going to be, because I don't think they announced a date yet.
Okay.
When they do,
yes,
I will keep you posted, and we'll see what we can plan out, because I know it's going to be. I'm going to have a little bit of a hectic year next year between like weddings,
same,
potentially getting engaged.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. And not that everybody just plans out their engagement, but like we're probably. I mean, yeah, it's probably going to happen. Oh yeah, Max makes an appearance, by the way, on my episode with G on her podcast. So
Wow.
I know.
And two besties getting engaged now. Oh, I gotta catch up.
He apparently planned like a getaway for our 2-year anniversary, which is coming up in January. Don't know anything about it. He tried to conspire with my bosses to get me the time off and whatnot. He already told me, but like he won't tell me where we're going. So
I'll interrogate him.
God, Mom and Dad are gonna get engaged.
right, but that's everything, I think.
Wow. And I'm a single Pringle.
Oh shit!
The last time you saw me, I was dating a very nice
We were
man.
still talking about that guy.
Yeah.
We all what was it, like a few days after we recorded that, maybe a week later or whatever, a week or two, I don't even know at this point, but we all decided we were going to go to Six Flags together, and that was the end of it.
Like 4 days later. We walked around that amusement park, and we was us and Taylor and Max
And Max's cousin and his cousin's girlfriend.
And technically, so it was 3 couples. And the entire day, I was just thinking, I don't want to be with this man. I don't want to be affectionate with this man.
She got icked out.
I
quick.
wish that I was just here with Taylor and Max.
How sad is that, though, that you'd rather just be a third wheel instead of, like, liking the person that you came
Well, that's
with?
the thing. I was pushing it for so long. I was trying so hard because he checked so many boxes.
Yeah.
And I was just waiting for, like, the attraction to grow and the like desire to grow, and it didn't, and I just plateaued. And I think I just needed that instance of like you guys meeting him and like being around other couples, because we hang out and it's just individual, and
You
when we're
needed
hanging
that
out,
validation.
and when we're hanging out, it's fun and I had a good time, but I never had the desire to be like romantic because the attraction just didn't grow as I wanted it to.
And this was the same guy after your first date, right? That you.
It was like date 3 that
upset?
I was like date 3, and I came to their house, okay, with the freaking Oscars or some shit.
You came over to watch the Oscars.
And I'm sobbing on the couch because I don't think I'm ever gonna feel anything for anybody ever.
And it was my fault. I pushed her to continue seeing this guy. And I said, listen, maybe it's just not a right away thing, but give it a little time. If something grows, it does.
You weren't
it does.
wrong,
and if
though.
it doesn't, then it doesn't. It's
I don't
okay.
think you were wrong.
We've all
because
been there.
I am a slow to grow person. I am slow to grow with friendships, with relationships. I am just that way. So you weren't incorrect. But I think but I am now single. The dating app is on pause. I haven't downloaded it yet. This is a very dire time in America, and I just don't feel like saddling myself to somebody at the moment. Okay?
We'll try again in 2025.
We'll try again in a couple weeks if, like, I still have freedom. Nobody knows.
We'll find out tonight.
I don't think we're finding out tonight.
So at the moment, we don't know who. I mean, like I said, it is currently election day. We're waiting for the results to come in.
I'm so scared, guys.
It's currently 3:19 in the afternoon here. So
polls close at 8.
Polls close at 8. We'll
but
probably find out by midnight.
the thing is that if you are in line by 8 o'clock, you stay in that line until you vote. So you could vote at 9 p.m., but if you were in that line at 8, then you still do it. And a lot of people voted early, but early votes don't get counted until election day.
Which makes sense. Yeah.
So even though you sent that shit in a week ago, or you went in and did your ballot a week ago, it ain't getting counted till this morning. It didn't get started counted till like 5 a.m. this morning, okay?
Hey, as long as they're getting counted, right?
They are. But the voter turnout already this year has been astronomical. And
Good.
I mean, 2020, it took like 4 days to have results.
Did it?
Yes.
I don't know why.
It was the most
I don't
stressful
know.
4 days of my life. We all disassociated. I think that was the problem.
Probably.
I have a feeling it's going to take a couple days unless it is a fucking landslide, but I don't think so because
I think it is going to be a landslide. I'm scared. I'm so scared. I feel like it. I am very optimistic. I won't divulge because it is what it is. I've just been living in a state of like, well, we can't control at this point. All we can do is vote.
That's how I was thinking.
I can't control what the outcome is going to be. So I'm just gonna pray and just stay open to expect the worst, hope for the best. I think
that's
is where
pretty
I'm
much
at.
where we have to go. Wow, one of them is a criminal, and the other is at least not a convicted criminal.
Yeah, but. That's our episode for this week. It's good to see you all again. Make sure you keep on up with us. We're not really recapping all that much right now, so I think we'll just go back. We'll just kind of go to be a regular gossip pod just so we can talk about what's been going on in pop culture. And, I think that was always kind of the direction that we were trying to go in, but we just kept getting so engulfed in all these shows. So now it might be easier for us to just keep up with whatever tea is going on and, stay in the loop with y'all. So I guess we will talk to you guys soon. But thanks for joining us.
Peace out, Fama Jam.
Good luck. Best of luck to us.
Godspeed, America.
Godspeed, America.